The only thing I found very peculiar, if I'm totally honest with you, very peculiar, is you have a strange way of holding your mug, don't you?
What? What the fuck?
You hold it with those fingers. Who holds a mug like that? That's weird.
Do I?
Hello and welcome to another Gutless Gaming broadcast. My name is Jason Lovell.
I'm Shaun Davis.
Today we're going to be talking about the Xbox One X, formerly known. Oh, you're going to steal it. You're going to do it, aren't you?
That was amazing.
That was like unison. Shall we say it together? 3, 2, 1.
Formerly known as Scorpio.
Oh,
fuck! Nearly. Well, next time.
Okay.
So good though. So good. It's the table.
That was unscripted.
The table's got a vibe around it. So good.
Bollocks.
It was my bad, man.
Bollocks. Okay.
That was real.
We're going to talk about Project Scorpio. I mean, I know
mug.
it's not necessarily big news at the moment, but it is around the corner.
When's it out?
It is out. I didn't research this.
Sorry, mate. Mugged you off.
November, probably. I think it's November.
All right. What is it?
Okay, the Xbox One is obviously a Xbox console, but it's a new, improved Xbox One X. However, it's not just. From what I can gather, it's not just an iteration on the console in the sense of like the PS4 Pro, which was a improved PS4. Really, the spec of what they're talking about on this console, which I'm not going to go into because I don't do PC game anymore, so I don't really give a shit how many megahertz, gigahertz, teraflops, megaflops, all that crap. I just need to know, is this one better or is this one better? But the spec that they put on it is basically saying it's going to be the most powerful console on the market, and really, it's a new generation. It's not like the power that it's got in this console is a new generation of gaming. However, the Xbox One X will basically play the same games as the Xbox One. It's not going to be. They basically said that they will not bring out games that are exclusively for the Xbox One X.
That'd be awful to do it.
So my question is, what impact is this going to have on the gaming industry? Because this is the first time that we've seen, a superior console in every way, but it's not a new console generation.
It's not getting launched, is it? I love a good launch.
Well, it is getting launched in November.
It's not like a big new.
Well, it's not going to have exclusive games. It's not going to have like what they normally have. This is the game to show you how. I mean, they will have games.
It's an iPhone 5S, not an iPhone 6.
Well, no, I disagree. This is the iPhone.
Oh, do you now?
Yes, because you've got the Xbox One S. That's the iPhone S. So you've got that. That's the place for me. The Xbox One S is the equivalent of the PS4 Pro, even though the PS4 Pro is a more superior console to the Xbox One X.
All right,
but this is a thing on its own.
I still think the Xbox One players are going to get laid more.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
The Xbox One Standard or Xbox One X?
No, Xbox One.
That's a terrible name as well. It's too confusing, isn't it?
I think the Xbox One are just going to be the hardcore. They're going to be the
Xbox Scorpio would have been better, even though that was weird. But it would have differentiated it.
I'm confused about it all because if it takes away the whole, a new. I know a launch of a console costs a shed load of money, hundreds of millions to launch and mediate it. And that's why they're probably doing it. But it takes away the whole PCs. Consoles. Just give my ending gambit away there. Consoles are going to become PCs in the living room, aren't they? I mean,
to a degree, but I don't think that they're ever going to. I don't think they're ever going to give you the freedom to upgrade the way that PCs can. You're never going to have that free customization.
Slot a new card in.
Exactly. What it's going to become, in my opinion, is it's following the smartphone model. Is that it's never
which is a rinsing model.
Yeah,
rinses people.
So the console is the model, but then the next console will not be a entirely new console. It will be the iteration on that console. So like it will be the iPhone 5, the iPhone 6, the iPhone 7, and you might get slightly better versions, like you said, the S version or whatever, or the slightly more affordable version. This one's a little bit cheaper, but it's got less on it, that sort of thing. But I think what we're going to see now is we're not going to see generations in gaming anymore.
That's
think
a shame,
what
man.
we're going to see is this is like I say your new iteration, and at some point your console will not be supported anymore. Like, you know, when you get the update on your iPhone, I don't know, 3 or 4 or whatever it is, and it says this new...
my iPad's redundant.
Yeah, this new iOS is coming out is not supported by... Yeah, I've got an iPad 2, for example.
Yeah.
And it basically, like, half the apps I can't upgrade anymore. They just don't work. It says you've got to upgrade it. When I try and upgrade it, it doesn't upgrade it because I can't... It's not
I've
supported.
got the original iPad.
Have you? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And that's basically where we're going to go, I think. And I think this is actually going to coincide with the fact that one day, when the infrastructure is in place, you will not purchase games in the same way anymore. Like, it will be streaming. I honestly believe all games will be streaming at some point.
You don't download them, you stream them.
Yeah.
You don't own them. How are they making money?
That you might own, well, it'd probably be like a Netflix model. Well, PlayStation already do it with PlayStation now, don't they? But
really.
That's for last generation games. But they've already got that Netflix model of £10 a month, whatever it is, and you can stream all these games. But obviously,
You don't get that much though for it.
no. But Xbox have already started that as well with these. I mean, they're not streaming, but they've already started that Netflix model of pay £7 a month and you get access to a library of games. Because I think Microsoft, to be fair to them, they get a lot of a bad rap, but they seem to understand.
They give away more than PlayStation.
Yeah, they do, but they also seem to understand the fact that the infrastructure is not in place for streaming gaming to work properly yet, which is why they don't offer it on their premium games. They're offering it on the old games because they're old games. You know, it's not if you tried to do it on Destiny 2 or whatever that's out now, you'd be pretty pissed off if it's lagging every 2 minutes. Yeah. You know, when you're trying to play the game. It's bad enough when it just lags from a multiplayer perspective. So I think that's going to come in a big way. I don't think that's dependent on the Xbox. I think that's a separate thing entirely. But I think that will also, because in some ways it means that the consoles will become cheaper to manufacture because you won't need as much as a heavy front end because a lot of the graphical processing power will be done in the cloud by.
Well, we'll see. We'll see how many people buy it. It all depends on how many people buy the Xbox X1 Scorpio thing. Depends how many people buy it.
Scorpio, get over here! They've got to put that in the market, don't they? So just kills, like, finishes a PlayStation. Finish him. But it is interesting just to see. I think from the off, the whole thing of the Xbox One X doesn't seem interesting. Oh, it's another console. But really, when you think about what is the impact this is going to have. So yeah, I think that's what I think is going to happen. I think we're going to see that.
You're going to buy it? One? Oh.
No, I'm not, because I've never been the sort of person that was driven by having to. Like, I appreciate good graphics and good fidelity, but for me, it's more about storyline and gameplay. You know, that, like, when I was back in the day when I had a PC, my best friend Rob Baker, aka Dirty Limey, friend of the show, he would often sell me his old components. So I don't know if you remember the old Voodoo graphics card.
Yeah, you used to go 3D computers in town.
Yeah, exactly. Voodoo, So he would then upgrade, say, from the Voodoo 1 to the Voodoo 2, and he would sell me the Voodoo 1. So I would always have he would have more superior PCs and graphics to me, but it didn't bother me because I didn't have the money to pay for the more expensive stuff, and I just had a gaming rig that ran games. You know.
Yeah, mine complained versus Predator, so it's fine. Yeah. I knew I had a decent one.
Oh, good game.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to charge a massive amount of money for it. I don't think it's going to be huge.
For what? Xbox One X?
Yeah.
It's about £500. Well,
they're stupid then. I thought it was going to be less than that because the canny move would have been to a cheaper one.
I can't remember the official English or UK price, I should say.
I thought it was cheaper.
But it's definitely $500 in America. And not for some reason, they don't change it for the exchange rate.
$500? £500.
Yeah, exactly. So we get ripped off compared to the Americans. So, because they're paying, probably about... After the exchange, about £400, something like that.
I'll say it right now. I will never play that console. But I'm sure it looks good.
That's the thing. It's like when people were saying, "Well, get a PS4 Pro because you can play Uncharted in 4K," and I'm like, "Does it make that much difference?"
My TV's not 4K.
Surely it will make the thing. The thing I always think, and maybe I'm completely wrong, but surely the higher the fidelity, the more realise you can see how bad certain textures look. Do you know what I mean? Because surely lower fidelity will mask that a little bit.
A good game can hold up.
Yeah. Well, Uncharted. To be fair, Naughty Dog.
A good example of that is I played Shadow Mord on Xbox 360 recently, and it looked like the hair was like.
It looked like Darth Vader's helmet, didn't it? Yeah.
It was just like
there's no strands in that.
I was like, I can't see him a distance.
Why has he got a tea towel on his head?
Yeah,
he's in the Middle East.
There could be an orca.
That's not Mordor. That's the Ram. We're not in Kansas anymore, Toto.
Brutal, but yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do know what you mean.
But Scorpio, I'll keep an eye on it. We'll probably talk about it a lot more.
I wonder whether it's going to be Microsoft's in to the whole VR sector, because obviously they haven't touched on that yet.
Well, they're going to take the tech off. They haven't got tech for that, have they?
Well, they've got they don't do their own tech, no. But for me, you know, they would, you know, there's enough tech out there that they could you know, like partner with Oculus or someone like that to bring it over onto because
pal.
Yeah, well, consoles are basically PC architecture now, aren't they? You know, they're closer to PCs than they've ever been, so it wouldn't be as difficult. No, from a how powerful they are, they're different. But from a design and build perspective, the you know, component and processor.
That's pretty decent. The other consoles is blocks.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that's more arty stuff, isn't it? More modern design. I blame IKEA myself.
I do too. It took the soul out of everything.
They did, yeah.
It takes the soul out of me when I walk around.
Nothing's homely anymore. Everything's cold.
Which I like because I've got no kind of
sterile.
I've got no kind of emotions. But I know what you mean though. I do. I empathise with you. But no.
But
make him stop.
He's already dead. But when they obviously talking about VR, sorry. One question I've got is, maybe if it's not VR, are we going to see the integration of HoloLens? You know what HoloLens is?
Of course I fucking don't. When you looked at me, you knew I didn't.
I thought you were going to say you do, but HoloLens is...
It's that thing that goes on your face, isn't it?
Yeah, it's AR. It's augmented reality as opposed to virtual reality, which it is a different proposition because I actually kind of like it. I know you'd have some special tech to do this, but imagine you're in a situation where you're playing a game and you've got to talk to a character and it's able to like create a hologram in the room with you as it's talking to you. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Imagine if you're playing a Star Wars game and it created the the hologram.
Yeah, it worked for that.
Things like that. But
if you're playing an Uncharted game and Sully's just there looking all shit in your living room, it would look a bit.
Yeah, but I mean that's the difference with that game. It will offer that technology. It actually offers a different angle on those sort of games. But the fact is that HoloLens is Microsoft's product, and it's actually, in a weird way, I know it's a different type of technology, but it's almost like a successor to Kinect. It's come from that technology.
Come here.
So the people that were working on Kinect have obviously led on, and they've used what they've learned from Kinect, and it's become HoloLens. So at the moment, it's just listed as a Microsoft product. It's no real no news for it to be incorporated into into Xbox. But I think at the moment, and he's got a point, Phil Spence, the guy, I don't know what his job title is, but obviously he's the high up at
Big Swinging Dick. Xbox. That's his head title.
That's his title. Then he used to work for PlayStation as well. Is he the one that flip flopped and went between the two?
You know I don't.
Teraflopped. But he's basically said that he's not. He's sort of hinted that they're open to the possibility of VR appearing on the Xbox, maybe Xbox One X. Didn't say specifically which console.
Spence.
But he believes that it's not where it needs to be yet. He thinks that the tech is not there, and we all agree at that. But one thing specifically that he's focused on is he's basically said that he does not feel that VR will become like mainstream and commercially accepted until it's wireless. Because at the moment those headsets are wired, aren't they? And he's right, because you're restricted by this cable in your head. I mean, I know you don't really move around anyway. We talked about this in the last video, but you know, it's so I kind of see what he's saying, and whether HoloLens is a bit like the Google glasses thing. Like apparently, I was reading about it earlier. They're saying that it is far superior. Like the people that have had a chance to play with it have said, yeah, it basically does the things that Google glasses, whatever it was called, did wrong, right. Like it has learned from that, and it does work quite well. Because one of the interesting things I read, and I didn't read the detail properly, if I'm honest, so I'm not sure whether this was just a website speculating or whether this is something they've actually said that they will do. but they've actually talked about the possibility with HoloLens of being able to play your games on it. So as you've got it on, like you put glasses on and you'll see the game. So you'll sit and play it.
I just like a screen, man.
Yeah, I mean I do too, but I mean you haven't played VR, have you?
No.
And I got to be honest, I can't remember. Did I talk about VR on one of the last? Yeah. It is impressive. It really is. Yes, I mean I only played the PlayStation VR, and graphic wise, you could see the textures weren't real. You know, it was very obvious that they were PlayStation 4 graphics, but it's really weird. Like I know it sounds stupid, but like I think you don't realize how 3D it is. Like it's not like it doesn't feel like you've put a screen in front of your eyes. It feels like you can see that this mug is here, and the microphone's behind it. You can see that depth of field of depth. Do you know what I mean? And it really does take you aback. You're like, oh, it really does feel like it's in front of you. I honestly, no joking, not like playing it up. I was quite impressed by that. I was like, it really does feel like, yes, this doesn't look real, but there is something moving in front of me. Because I saw a shark. I was in a shark cage and it was moving around me, and it really does. Like the immersion is there. Just spat all over my hand, but the immersion is there.
Literally, the shark cage.
Yeah, exactly, and it's impressive. It is impressive tech, but it feels very much like when the Kinect first came out, and you went, "Oh, this is interesting." No, but it wasn't it? When the Kinect first came out, you sort of went, "I can see the tech has got potential. Now give me some games."
Yeah,
and that's the problem. You know, it's very much about how can we make this tech sellable. Do you know what I mean? You can have a tech that's absolutely impressive, but if there's no use for it,
I just don't have any. I need to get some tech. I never get any tech ever. I didn't even have the bloody gun on Super NES.
I just wait for the wife to buy it for me.
I didn't even have a Mega CD. I should go.
I think you dodged a bullet there, mate. To be honest.
Sonic CD.
Isn't that going to go on our Was It Really Bad video list?
Might do.
Yeah. So there we go. So yeah, I mean, that's all I've really got to say about it, to be honest. There's not too much to say at the moment.
Watch this space.
There is a special edition version coming out, actually called Scorpio Edition. But as far as I can tell, it's just...
It's just got a big scorpion on it.
Yeah, it just got that written on it, and the texture of the console is like... it's like a... I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a flat sheen. It's got like a bumpy sort of design on it. It's just, you're literally just paying for a different case, basically. As far as I can tell, there's no...
Not sold on that one.
But it is going to be the most powerful console on the market. But the question is, how long is it going to... How long are you going to be able to play the Xbox One games on the Xbox One and the Xbox
That's the thing, you have to wait
One X? Because the reality is, at this point, they want to keep everyone happy, and they want to say, "Oh, we're never gonna bring out the Xbox One X exclusive games."
Just start knocking people off.
But they will, because let's not forget, regardless of the fact, if you take away generations of gaming, you still a competitive market, and you still got competition with PlayStation. So how are you going to beat PlayStation? You're going to go, come and play the exclusive Microsoft Xbox games on the Xbox One X. Because with this console, we can make them look better than anything PlayStation can do. And at the moment, Xbox One will be the original Xbox One will be the ball and chain. It'll be, we can't make these games as good because it's all well and good saying. I know people will turn around and say, no, you can, because all you'll do is you'll create a game which is like a PC. As the sliders will just be right up on this one and look nice and pretty, and this one. They look, the size will be down, and it just. But like I've talked a million times, we've talked about this.
We have.
Most important thing is not graphics,
games.
It's games, and one of the things that impressed me so much more than anything to do with sort of graphics when they went from the 360 generation to Xbox One generation was how much processor power they had to implement things in the background.
Yeah, I love that.
So like when you go into a city now, they feel lived in.
Yeah.
There's stuff going on in the background, like we said on Battlefield, there's things going on in the sky. The Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3 couldn't do that.
Nope.
It was very kind of plain. What was going on in the background. So what I'm saying is it's not about graphics. It's about processor power.
Yeah.
That console can do a lot more at the same time, and you're going to want to use that at some point, because what's the point in making this console better if you're going to be restricted by the previous edition?
Yeah.
So at some point,
They're
going to drop that game. They're going to.
Muggy little men.
So
they'll mug people off.
Cheers to that. So that's it, really. That's our thoughts on it. We're not going to play it, probably, so we won't have any thoughts when it comes out, but we will read the news and
talk about it.
Exactly.
What more can you ask for?
Because what's better than having somebody play something and give their opinion on it is having somebody read someone else's opinion and give their opinion on that opinion.
And I can promise you an ill-informed opinion.
And that's that. Mm-hmm. So that's the end of that.
It's been lovely speaking to you, though. Broadcasting to you, though.
We will see you
very soon.